Good evening, everyone. Welcome. So tonight I'm going through some top tips to stay or get motivated when it comes to being physically active. So I really hope you're going to take away from today some really actionable tips that you can put into place right away, because I know motivation is one of the things that most people struggle with. So do, as always, let me know if you're watching live or on replay by typing in the comments. If I say anything you agree with, let me know your thoughts and feelings. You can hit those emoji buttons, but let's just engage and have a conversation together, because I am here to help you enjoy fitness, enjoy moving, enjoying being active. Okay, so welcome to tonight's Team Talk about my top tips for getting motivated when it comes to being physically active. So, welcome. I'm Matt Print from Fitness with Matt. I've been doing this since 2010. I started out as a Zumba instructor, and then I trained as a personal trainer, and now I do both. So, I have had quite a bit of experience with people one-on-one, but also in a group environment. So these are just some tips I've found have worked for people, and also I've done a bit of research for this talk because there's always new data and information coming out, and it's always good to go out there and see what other people's thoughts are on motivation. So the first thing I want to talk about is, are you being unrealistic? Of course, we're all pushed to dream big, but dreaming big is brilliant, but it doesn't get the washing up done, and it doesn't take away the fact that maybe you're a really busy mum who has a job and has children. So I want you to make sure whatever goals you're setting up, they're realistic and manageable for you, because there's nothing worse than getting into something, getting going, and then you find it's unsustainable, because then you feel like a failure. You feel like you failed yourself, let yourself down, and no one wants to feel like that, even though you haven't. So maybe if that keeps happening, you're setting your sights a little bit high, your expectations too high. I always advise people when they start coming to classes or they start going to the gym or personal training, everyone wants to do everything that's on the timetable. They want to go to the gym every day of the week for the next 10 years to quickly get their goals. But actually, a more realistic expectation is to maybe do 2 hours a week. Maybe even if you're crazy busy, that's too much. Aim to go to a fitness class once a week. Aim to go to the gym once a week, or maybe have 2 shorter sessions if you are that time poor. But starting small, you'll develop a habit, and then it's easier to do when it's a habit. When you just wake up on a Monday and like, oh, Monday night I go to Matt's Zumba class. Cool. Everyone knows that. Your family, your friends. So they know not to book things into your diary because they just know that's what you do, and you know that's what you do. So I hope that makes sense. So dream big, yes. Have a big, amazing goal, but make sure you remember you're at the start of that journey, and it's got to be manageable, and it's got to become part of your life. Next, also, which follows on from that, make it convenient. There's no point signing up to something that is miles away or at a time that doesn't really work for you. Find what works for you and make it convenient for you, especially for those of you who are time poor. So next, find the fun in it. When people start being physically active, they see it as a punishment, a way to burn off calories, a way to sort of land grab back some control over something that they feel out of control with. But actually, if this is something you want to do long term for your health maybe, and we'll come on to the reason why you're maybe getting active later on, you've got to enjoy it, because if you don't enjoy something, you're not going to do it for very long. We all know that. That is pretty taken for granted, but people often forget that. They're like, I'm going to go to this HIIT class, I hate every minute of it, but it does the job XYZ. Well, maybe a HIIT class isn't for you. Find something that works for you. Some people like going to the gym, some people like working with people, but you need to find the fun for you. What works for your best friend might not work for you. What worked for you might not work for your friend. So that's something to think about. Just make sure your workouts are fun, because they are much easier to stick to. Third thing, track what you're doing. Put it in your diary, put it on your calendar on your phone, track it in your phone notes. when you've done something, and also track how it makes you feel, because that is far more important. It's true what they say, people don't forget what you say, but they don't forget how they make you feel. We feel things. So if you come out of your workout and you feel amazing and happy, and whatever's happening in the day, your stress is gone temporarily, even for the next 2 hours, that's brilliant. Hold on to that feeling, because when your initial motivation, enthusiasm maybe wanes, if you look at that log and go, yeah, but I know if I go, I will feel these things. It's just going to be something to help you get over maybe a barrier to exercise and activity. My next one, and it comes back to tracking almost, save the date. Put it in your calendar. Make it non-negotiable. Imagine it's a really important meeting that you can't miss. Say it's a date with your favorite celebrity that you're allowed to go on a date with, even if you are attached. Schedule your workout, schedule the time to be physically active into your calendar. And if you don't treat that with importance, i.e. if someone says to you, oh, let's do this instead, let's just go for a coffee, or let's go to the pub. If you are easily swayed from that, and of course there are times when that's fine to do, but if you, each time someone mentions the slightest thing to do instead of your workout or your physical activity, they're not going to respect it, because you're not respecting that time. So make sure you schedule it in your calendar at the start of the week, so you know maybe that Tuesdays and Thursdays are your workout days. So if tomorrow you are a little bit less active, it doesn't matter, because you know that you're going to be more active. Say if on Wednesday you've got caught up with something, so you haven't managed to do something, you know that Thursday you are going to work out and get your fitness in at those given times. Takes some of the headspace out of it. If everything's on paper, planned, you don't have to think about it, because it almost is automated, which goes back to those habit forming ideas that I mentioned at the beginning. Next, get rid of guilt. So you missed a workout. Okay, that's fine, but don't beat yourself up about it. Life is going to throw curveballs. You're going to get poorly. You're going to have a poor night's sleep. So maybe actually exercising the next day isn't the best thing for you. But what I find happens so often is that people self-sabotage. And that's a perfect example. So maybe you have one bad day, shall we call it, or one day when you don't have a workout, or maybe one day when you eat less nourishing, less nutritious food. That doesn't mean you have to make the rest of the day, the rest of the week, the rest of the month the same. It doesn't mean that you don't go and work out for the rest of the week because you've missed one. That's like you've got one flat tire, well, slash the other three. That's kind of the same mentality. So one thing went wrong, it doesn't mean you have to carry on that pattern. So try and think of it maybe when one week you can't get to your favourite fitness class or to the gym. Don't let that stop you moving on from it and just carrying on from where you were. It's not a stop and start, okay? Life throws all sorts of obstacles like pandemics and children being poorly and work commitments and life events. Okay. So, next, make it social. Whatever your physical activity, if you want to just move more, schedule in walks with a friend. Join a fitness class like Zumba with Matt or our online community, because when you do things communally, you have a sense of belonging to something. And also, it's important to tell the people around you that you're going to do this and what your intentions are, because they can be your cheering squad. And if maybe we do have people in our lives that are less encouraging, we have two choices. We either choose not to listen to them or not to see them. Okay, it seems super harsh, that statement, but if you want something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. And sometimes environment does come into play with it. And I know it's not that black and white, and it's far more nuanced. But, if you have maybe a friend who is always negative about you changing, being more active, maybe it's time to have a conversation with them and be like, look, this is important to me. I need your backing. I need your support. Can you do it with me? Come with me. It'll be fun. So make it social. Either doing it with people, making it a challenge with people, just having people there on your side, cheering you on. So that day when you're like, oh, I can't be bothered, you've got someone in your corner with your best interests at heart going, go do it. You know you'll feel awesome. Next, this one is more a practical tip. So if you're a morning workout person, the night before, get your workout clothes ready. As soon as you wake up, those workout clothes go on, and then instantly you are ready to work out. And if you're an evening workout kind of person, have your workout clothes ready for you when you get home. You come home, you get out of your work clothes, and then straight away put on your workout clothes, because you're going to be less inclined to bail on yourself if you are there physically ready in the clothes, rather than say coming home, putting on your pajamas, sitting down, having a cup of tea. Whereas at least if you're sitting down having a cup of tea in your workout gear, you're subconsciously saying, I'm going to work out. And then you are more likely. Yes, it might not always work, but I'm giving you tips that may just work for you. Maybe that little thing that helps you to be more regular, more consistent with being physically active. So finally, and I think this is super, super, super duper important, and it's about goal setting. People often make extrinsic goals, and it's something I talk about a lot with my personal training clients. So an example of an extrinsic goal or purpose would be, I'm doing this for fame, for wealth, because of image, how others see me. And also, this was really good, I found this word today, conformity. Maybe you feel you have to be a certain size. Maybe you feel you have to work out because of XYZ. Maybe you're working out because the person you think only likes people of a certain size. They are all extrinsic, okay? And they require other people to, reinforce or praise you. It relies on I've got the word, but I can't think of it. Can anyone type the word for me? Validation. That's it. It requires external validation. Okay? Whereas if you make goals intrinsic, you'll be working out maybe for your health. Maybe you're working out for physical fitness, to be stronger, to feel stronger. Maybe it'll be you want to join a certain fitness class because you want to develop a skill in that. Maybe it's about a sense of belonging. Maybe, we have got a lot of loneliness within the UK, within the world. Even though we're connected by these, we're not as connected to people. So maybe you want something where you see people, okay? So, and maybe it's just for self-acceptance. Maybe you want to feel like you've achieved something and you're proud of yourself. And maybe your goal may be to squat your body weight, because that's an achievement. That's going to be investing time and work to gain a skill, to achieve something you set out. It means your body's going to be stronger. Hopefully, as you age, you're going to have less muscle wastage. So they mean something. They're going to have a bigger impact to you than simply saying, I want to weigh this amount. Dig a little bit deeper. Look at why. Maybe it's because you're going to feel happier, more confident at that weight. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay? But just try and focus on the deeper level of what achieving that goal means to you. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you have any tips in the comments for being more active, ways to be more motivated. I'd love to hear what you think, and if any of these goals, any of these tips you think would work for you. Love to hear from you, because I'm just one person with one person's experience. I am always learning from people, and I often find my job as a personal trainer, as a fitness instructor, is problem solving. It's like also reframing stuff. Look at ways you can do things. Look at what you are doing. Don't look at what you're not or what you're not doing. Someone may be coming to a Zumba class. That could be a massive step for them. And then them coming each week for 4 weeks. That's a massive achievement for some people. And it should be shouted from the rooftop. But that person still might be thinking, oh, but so-and-so is doing this and they're doing that. Or this person in the class is doing it better than me. that doesn't matter. You are there, you're still committing that time, and that is amazing. You're improving your mental well-being, your physical health. So I hope that helps. Take care. Thank you for joining me tonight, and I will see you soon. Goodbye. Bye, everyone.